Hey there, gentlemen. I'm Dr. Isabella Norris, and after more than 15 years working with men over 60 in my clinic right here in the States, I want to ask you something that might change the way you look at your next meal. Did you know there are certain proteins that work almost like natural insulin in your body? I'm talking about everyday foods you can grab at any grocery store. Foods that help your body take back control of your blood sugar without crash diets, without expensive supplements, and without those fancy programs that promise the moon and deliver nothing. Today I want to walk you through 3 proteins that can genuinely lower your blood sugar fast, and one protein that millions of folks eat every single day thinking it's healthy, when in reality it might be quietly damaging your pancreas. And before you click away thinking you've heard this before, stick with me, because I'm going to tell you exactly which protein is the dangerous one right up front, so you know what we're working toward. That 4th protein, it's something most American men my age have in their fridge right now. We'll get to it. Let me start with the first one, and honestly, it's probably already in your kitchen. Skinless chicken breast. I know. It sounds boring. It sounds like something your wife puts on the grill when she's mad at you for the steak you ate last weekend. But hear me out, because this humble piece of meat is one of the most powerful tools you have for managing your blood sugar after 60. Here's what most people don't understand. When you eat chicken breast without the skin, you're giving your body a clean source of high-quality protein with almost no saturated fat. And saturated fat, gentlemen, is one of the main culprits that interferes with insulin doing its job. Think of insulin like a key, and your cells are the doors. When you eat too much saturated fat over the years, those locks get gummed up. The key still exists, but it can't turn properly. That's insulin resistance in plain English. Now, when you swap out processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli ham, hot dogs, and replace them with skinless chicken breast a few times a week, something remarkable happens. Within just a couple of weeks, many of my patients start seeing their fasting glucose numbers drop. I had one gentleman, a retired contractor from Ohio, who came to me with a fasting glucose of 168. He was eating sausage and eggs every morning out of habit. We made one change. We swapped that sausage for grilled chicken breast, or a small piece of leftover chicken from dinner. 3 months later, his fasting glucose was 112. He didn't change anything else. Why does this work so well? 3 reasons. First, chicken breast is loaded with lean protein that keeps you full for hours, which means you're not reaching for crackers or cookies at 3 in the afternoon. Second, it's incredibly low in the saturated fats that mess with your pancreas. Third, the protein actually slows down how fast carbs get absorbed when you eat them together, which prevents those nasty spikes that wear out your insulin response over time. Now here's where I want to address something important, because I see this question all the time from you guys. Does it matter how the chicken was raised? Yes, it does. If you can afford organic pasture-raised chicken, that's the gold standard. But let me be real with you. I know not everyone has the budget for that, especially on a fixed income. Regular chicken breast from your local supermarket is still 1,000 times better for your blood sugar than bacon or sausage. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Buy what you can afford, take the skin off, and you're already winning. How should you cook it? Keep it simple. Grill it, bake it, or pan-sear it with a little olive oil. Season with garlic powder, black pepper, paprika, oregano, lemon juice, whatever you like. What you want to avoid is breading it, deep frying it, or smothering it in sugary barbecue sauce. Those cancel out the benefits. Think of chicken breast as a blank canvas. The cleaner you keep it, the more your blood sugar will thank you. All right, let's move on to the second protein, and this one is going to surprise some of you because it's cheap, it's easy, and most American men have completely forgotten about it. Sardines. Yes, those little fish in the small flat cans. The ones your grandfather probably ate on saltine crackers while watching the Friday night fights on a black and white TV. I call sardines the insulin of the sea, and I'm going to tell you why. Sardines are absolutely loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are anti-inflammatory powerhouses. Chronic inflammation in your body is one of the silent drivers of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. When you reduce that inflammation, your cells become more sensitive to insulin again. Your pancreas doesn't have to work as hard, your blood sugar starts behaving. But sardines bring more to the table than just omega-3s. They're packed with vitamin D, which most American men over 60 are deficient in, and vitamin D plays a direct role in how your body manages glucose. They also have soft, edible bones that give you calcium and magnesium, two minerals that help regulate blood sugar and support nerve health, especially important if you're already starting to feel tingling in your feet or hands. Now here's the question I get the most about sardines, and it's a fair one. Are canned sardines okay? Because let's be honest, nobody's catching fresh sardines off the coast of Cleveland. The answer is yes, with a few rules. Look for sardines packed in water or in olive oil. Avoid the ones packed in soybean oil, sunflower oil, or any kind of sauce loaded with sugar like honey mustard or sweet tomato. Read the label. If you see added sugar, put it back on the shelf. I want to be straight with you about something because I saw this come up in a conversation with one of my patients last month. Some folks worry about sardines being processed the same way as canned tuna. Here's the difference. Tuna is a much larger fish, which means it accumulates more mercury and heavy metals over its lifetime. Sardines are tiny, short-lived fish at the bottom of the food chain, so they have far less mercury and far more nutritional value per ounce. Eating sardines 2 or 3 times a week is something I genuinely recommend to almost every male patient I see over 60. How do you eat them? Plenty of ways. On a slice of whole grain toast with avocado and a squeeze of lemon, mashed with mustard and chopped pickle for a quick lunch, tossed into a green salad with olive oil and vinegar. If the taste is too strong for you on its own, mix them with bitter greens like arugula, add some lemon juice, and the strong flavor mellows right out. One can a few times a week is all you need. And I hear you guys saying, Doc, sardines aren't always cheap where I live. I get it. Prices have gone up on everything. But compare a can of sardines, which usually runs you $2 to $4, against a single fast food meal that's pushing $15 now and spikes your blood sugar through the roof. Sardines are still one of the best dollar per nutrient deals in the entire grocery store. Now let's talk about the third protein. And this one is for those of you who want a plant-based option, or just want to mix things up so you're not eating animal protein every single meal. Lentils. Specifically, brown or green lentils. Now I know some of you are thinking, Dr. Norris, lentils are carbs, not protein. Here's the truth. Lentils are both. A single cup of cooked lentils gives you about 18 grams of plant protein along with a hefty dose of fiber. And that combination is exactly what makes them so powerful for blood sugar control. When you eat lentils, the fiber slows down digestion dramatically. Instead of your blood sugar shooting up like a rocket and crashing down, it rises slowly and steadily, then comes back down gently. Your pancreas doesn't get hit with that emergency insulin demand. Over time, this gentler pattern actually helps repair some of the damage that years of sugar spikes have done to your metabolic system. Lentils are also rich in magnesium, which is one of the most underrated minerals for men over 60. Magnesium plays a role in over 300 enzyme reactions in your body, including the ones that control insulin sensitivity. A lot of older men are walking around magnesium deficient and don't even know it. Eating lentils a couple of times a week helps fill that gap naturally. No expensive supplement required. Here's the practical part. How do you cook them, especially if you've never made lentils in your life? It's easier than making rice. You don't even have to soak them. Rinse a cup of lentils, throw them in a pot with about 3 cups of water or low-sodium chicken broth. Add a bay leaf, some chopped onion, a clove of garlic, and let it simmer for about 25 minutes. That's it. You can eat them as a side dish, as a soup, or mash them up and use them as a base for tacos. Now, I want to address something a lot of my patients ask. What about other beans, like black beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans, kidney beans? The answer is yes, they all work similarly. They all have that fiber-protein combination that helps stabilize blood sugar. Lentils just happen to be the easiest and fastest to cook, which is why I recommend them first. But if you grew up eating black beans or pintos, by all means, keep eating them. Just watch out for canned versions that have added sugar or pork fat. Read your labels. One thing I want to caution you about. Don't combine lentils with heavy processed meats like chorizo, bacon, or fatty ham hocks. I know that's how a lot of traditional bean dishes are made, but doing that completely undoes the blood sugar benefits. The saturated fat from those meats blocks the very insulin sensitivity the lentils are trying to restore. If you want to add flavor, use smoked paprika, cumin, garlic, onion, and a splash of vinegar at the end. You'll get that deep, savory taste without sabotaging your glucose. All right, gentlemen, now we get to the part you've been waiting for, the fourth protein, The one that millions of American men eat every week thinking they're being healthy, when really they're slowly damaging their pancreas and pushing their blood sugar in the wrong direction. It's processed deli meats. I'm talking about the sliced ham, the turkey lunch meat, the bologna, the salami, the pepperoni, the hot dogs, the breakfast sausages, the bacon. Yes, even that low-fat turkey breast from the deli counter that the package swears is good for you. Here's why these are so dangerous, especially for men over 60 managing blood sugar. Processed meats are loaded with three things that wreck your metabolic health. First, they contain massive amounts of sodium, which raises blood pressure and puts extra strain on your kidneys, which are already working overtime if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. Second, they contain nitrates and nitrites, preservatives that have been linked in multiple studies to insulin resistance and an increased risk of pancreatic damage. Third, and this is the one that really gets me, they contain hidden sugars and starches that you would never expect to find in a piece of meat. Many lunch meats have dextrose, corn syrup solids, or modified food starch added to them for flavor and texture. So when you sit down to a healthy turkey sandwich at lunch, what your body's actually getting is a triple hit of sodium, preservatives, and hidden sugar, all wrapped up in something marketed as protein. Your pancreas takes the punch, your insulin response gets blunted, and your fasting glucose creeps up month by month, year by year. I had a patient, a wonderful man in his late 60s from upstate New York, who couldn't figure out why his A1C kept rising despite eating healthy. He was having a turkey sandwich for lunch every single day, made with deli turkey on whole wheat bread with lettuce and tomato. Sounds great, right? When we actually looked at the ingredients on his lunch meat, it had 8 different additives, including added sugar. We swapped that turkey for a piece of leftover roasted chicken from dinner the night before. Same sandwich concept, real food. His A1C dropped a full point in 4 months. Here's my rule for you. If your meat comes pre-sliced in plastic packaging with a list of ingredients longer than 3 or 4 items, put it back. Real food doesn't need a paragraph of chemicals to taste good. Buy a whole chicken, roast it on Sunday, and use the leftovers for sandwiches all week. Buy a small turkey breast, cook it yourself, slice it thin, and store it in the fridge. It takes maybe an extra 15 minutes a week, and the impact on your blood sugar is enormous. I want to talk to you straight for a minute, because I know some of you are skeptical. I've been doing this work for over 15 years now, and I've heard every objection in the book. Doc, my grandfather ate bacon every day and lived to 90. Sure, some people get lucky, but for every grandfather who beat the odds, there are 10 more who develop type 2 diabetes, kidney disease, or heart problems in their 70s and spent their last years dependent on medications and dialysis. You don't want that life. You want to be the guy still playing with his grandkids, still going on fishing trips, still walking the dog every morning. That kind of life isn't an accident. It's built one meal at a time. I also want to acknowledge something I hear a lot from you guys. Dr. Norris, eating healthy is expensive. I get it. Inflation has been brutal these past few years. But here's the thing. A whole roasting chicken at the supermarket costs less than $10 and can feed you for 3 or 4 meals. A bag of dried lentils is about $3 and gives you 8 servings. A can of sardines is $2 to $4. Compare that to the cost of diabetes medications, doctor visits, and complications down the road. The cheapest investment you'll ever make in your health is your grocery cart. And let me say something else, because I want to be honest with you. Diet alone isn't always enough. Some of you have done everything right and your numbers still creep up. That happens. Stress, sleep, physical activity, even genetics all play a role in blood sugar control. If you're doing everything right and your numbers aren't moving, talk to your doctor about getting a full workup. Sometimes there's a magnesium deficiency, a vitamin D deficiency, a thyroid issue, or even a sleep apnea problem driving your blood sugar up. Food is foundational, but it's not the whole story. Let me give you a simple plan you can start this week. Monday, swap your usual breakfast meat for 2 scrambled eggs with sautéed spinach and a slice of avocado on whole grain toast. Tuesday, have a can of sardines on a salad for lunch with olive oil and lemon. Wednesday, grill a few chicken breasts and have them with steamed broccoli and a small sweet potato. Thursday, make a pot of lentil soup and eat it for 2 days. Friday, repeat the chicken. Saturday, have leftover lentils with grilled vegetables. Sunday, plan your week. That's it. No fancy ingredients, no expensive supplements, no starvation, just real food in the right combinations. I want to leave you with this. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. If you eat sardines and lentils Monday through Friday and have a steak with your buddies on Saturday night, you're still light years ahead of the man who eats processed meat every single day. Don't beat yourself up over one meal. Just get back on track at the next one. Eat the vegetables first, then the protein. Save the carbs for last if you're going to have them. That simple ordering trick alone has helped many of my patients lower their post-meal glucose by 20 to 30 points without changing what they eat at all. Remember, your pancreas has been working hard for you for 60, 70, maybe 80 years. It's time to give it a break. Treat it well. Feed it the foods it can actually use, and it will keep working for you for many more years to come. In the comments below, I want to hear from you. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me which of these proteins you're going to try this week. And if you have a specific question about your situation, drop it down there. I read every comment, and I'll be making more videos based on what you ask. Next week, I'm planning a video on the best vegetables for men over 60 to lower blood sugar. And after that, we're going to dig into magnesium, vitamin D, and the supplements actually worth taking at our age. If this video helped you, do me a favor and share it with another man in your life who needs to hear it. A brother, a friend, a neighbor, a fellow veteran, anyone you care about. The more men we can reach with real information, the more lives we can change. Take care of yourselves, gentlemen. Your health is your most valuable possession, and every small choice you make today is a deposit in the bank account of your future. I'll see you in the next one.